everyone, and welcome to another classic guitar video. Tonight's guitar is going to be a vintage 1985 Electra Les Paul Jr. style, or copy, as some people will call it, guitar. Now, copies aren't necessarily a bad term when it comes to things like guitars. Lots of other companies made copies of other famous makers' guitars like Fender, Gibson, Ibanez, BC Rich, etc. And they changed a little bit of something in the design, and then called it a copy. So it's not like they are trying to pull a fast one and sell you a real one. That's just generally how it works in the guitar world, if you will. So this is again, it's a 1985 Electra Les Paul Jr. double cutaway style guitar. I bought this from a friend who I bought guitar parts, vintage parts, and guitar projects from time to time over the years. And he emailed me and said he had this vintage 85. He kind of needed the spare spendable cash for whatever reason, and he brought it to me. I gave him $40 for it. The guitar is complete minus the electronics, the pots, the jack, the selector switch. It does have the pickups. The rest of the guitar is complete, right down to the strap buttons. The guitar is all original. It has two humbucker pickups in it. So I'm going to do my thing to it, and I'm going to put some genuine Gibson pots in it, a genuine Gibson switch, and a genuine Gibson pots. Yeah, pots, switch, and jack. That's what I meant to say. So I'm going to kind of customize it a little bit. I'm not going to get a whole lot of money for this guitar, even when I'm done with it, putting real Gibson parts in it. Because the rest of the guitar is not going to be Gibson parts. I'm probably going to put $180 price on it, but I'm going to be putting a lot of work into it. This is going to be a 2-day project. So let's just go ahead and get right into it, and I'll show it to you guys. So here it is. Yes. Now you might think to yourself, "Oh boy, I'm going to make a really killer profit on this," because I'm going to be getting $180, $175 for this or whatnot. You know, after my parts, 2 days worth of labor, supplies, I'm not going to make a whole lot on this. I'm just going to be selling it as a player's guitar. You know. So I'm not going to make a killing off of this guitar. I'll make a small profit when it's all said and done. After parts, labor, and supplies, I might make $20 on it, maybe 40. It all depends. And I might sit on it for 6 months. So when I sell this, I'm going to be more gearing this toward just the end user player. Somebody who collects vintage Electras, you know, might buy it as a collector piece. I have a bunch of Electras. They're not high-end guitars to begin with. They're just not. You know. Now this is the tailpiece. Got the original tailpiece, the original bridge. Everything on it's pretty well original. So I am lucky in that aspect of it. The back plate is somebody's contraption. It's got a transparent, kind of a smoky color, transparent back plate to it. So I'm gonna clean all that, clean the electronics cavity out. And when I do my soldering, I'll make it look all pretty and the wiring all nice and everything. Back neck plate says Electra, made in Japan. There's no serial number on this, but it is indicative of the 1985s that came out that year. It does have aftermarket Grover tuners. The original tuners have been taken off and replaced with Grovers, so that's good. That'll add to the value of it a little bit. So tonight I'm just going to do an assessment, a cleaning, tighten the tuners, get my parts out, my pots that I'm going to use, my switch that I'm going to use, the jack I'm going to use. I'll probably do my polish on the frets, the fretboard, the body, the hardware, the headstock. It's got a bunch of nicks and deep scratches in it. There's really not much I can do about it. I considered taking the guitar apart and stripping the paint and refinishing it, but then I thought, man, I'm not going to add to the value of it that much. I still might only get $250 for it if I did that to it, so I'm not going to do that to it. That's just too much work and parts and supplies for that little of more of a profit. But nonetheless, it'll be a cool guitar when I'm done with it. So I've already taken my pictures of it, so I will go ahead and take some of the hardware off. And this is gonna be a short video compared to my other videos. I'm just gonna do my cleaning and assessing tonight, and then tomorrow I will do my soldering of the pots and the switch and the jack, and all that good stuff. So yeah, I just need to take note of how the bridge is laid out, and it's adjusters down. LS bridge, made in Japan. So yeah, I'm probably going to satin finish the pickups and the pickup bezels and the screws that hold those in, because they're kind of corroded and rusty, and I want to make this guitar look as clean as possible and as nice as possible, even though I'm not going to make a huge profit on this, which is fine. I don't expect to make huge profits on everything I do. It'd be nice. It'd be very nice, but that's just not what happens. I'll go ahead and move the view so you can see me tighten the tuners and whatnot. So I'm just going to make sure these are all straight the way I want them. They should be straight anyway, not just because I want them straight. So they should be straight anyway. So looks like somebody did a fair job of covering up the original tuner holes. They filled them in with putty and then put little dots of black paint. So somebody did a fair job of changing out the tuners, which is a good thing, because some people do a horrendous job at it and then turn around and complain that the guitar has tuning issues. So this video is going to run about an hour, and it'll be a 2-day project, possibly a 3-day project, but I don't think so, barring any problems that I have with the electronics. It'll be a 2-day project, or a 2-stream project, I should more correctly say. We'll tighten the screws that hold down the well, let's do one thing at a time here. Let's flip over the neck again and tighten the nuts for the tuners. again, when tightening these, you want to put your thumb here and use the open end. Since there's no strings on here, I could use the box end, but I'll just go ahead and use what I normally do, which is the open end. Put your thumb down, because you don't want this to strip. If you strip and go like this, you're going to do two things. You're going to strip the nut out. You're going to strip the hex of the nut. You might strip out the nut entirely, the threads on it, and you might drag your wrench across the top of the headstock, and you'll create a new scratch on there. So you don't want any of that. You don't want any shenanigans like that. So this guitar should not have any tuning issues. Now the guy I bought from, like I said, he's a person I buy from regularly. Projects and guitar parts and vintage parts and things like that. And he is not the original owner of this guitar, but he said he bought it from the original owner. I asked him if he had the original tuners for it and all that, but he said no. And he asked why the electronics were taken out of it. And he says that the original owner said he was going to change them out. And then he took the guitar apart, and then, you know how some projects get days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, and then months turned into never. And I proceeded to ask him, well, where's all the original electronics? And he said, well, he had long since lost them. He took it apart, and then he lost all the parts. And then just never finished the project. So it would have been nice to have all the original electronics, but that's okay. It's not a complete and utter necessity. Tighten down the strap buttons. Very good. Tighten down the next one. Okay, that's good. And we'll tighten the neck down. Move the view for you guys. Check all your neck bolts and make sure they're nice and tight and not stripped out. Generally, I like to get these as tight as possible, because then you will have a good resonance between your neck and your body. And that's a good thing to have. So. You don't want to go too tight, because then you take a chance on cracking your neck or your body, or stripping out a screw, or stripping out the wood in the neck that holds the screw in. So you don't want any of that. But I like to go pretty darn tight on them. A little tiny bit more. Come on. Oh, almost there. Oh, that's about as tight as I'm going to get, because my hand's hurting. So, yeah, tonight is assessment. Take off this plate. I can sit down for that. That I can sit down for. Easy enough. Check you guys in chat. Hello. So we'll take this plate off and see what's under this puppy. Plate's cracked. Yeah, it is cracked. Somebody made this plate. They did a good job. It was probably the guy who took the guitar apart originally. Of course, I don't know that for a fact. He didn't say, and I didn't ask, so. But I assume that to be the case, because the guy he got the guitar off of was the original owner, so. So I have to assume he did the work. Or if not, he had somebody make this. Because it looks pretty darn almost factory. I don't know what I'm going to do about fixing this crack. I might try and put a little clear glue on there and go from there. Yeah, this cavity is pretty ugly right now, so I need to clean it. It's dusty and there's polish, you know, white polish remnants there. Here's my electronic wires for the pickups. I think that's the ground wire. Not really sure yet. I don't know what it goes to yet, but I think it's a ground wire. And then I got to do something for a jack. I don't know if I'm going to have a jack that is going to fit this. That's factory polish right under that. Okay. So, that being said, I'm going to clean this cavity up so it looks real nice when I put everything back. Okay. So, yeah, it's going to have 2 volume, 2 tone, and a 3-way toggle switch. I'm gonna go factory wiring for Electra for this year, which again is 2 volume, 2 tone, 3-way toggle switch. The 3-way toggle switch is back position is back pickup, middle position is both pickups, and front position will be front pickups. So yeah. I'll go ahead and set my pickup pole height. So we'll just do that now. I can tell these pots have not been changed or adjusted in a great many years. So this will be a fun little project, and whoever gets this guitar when I'm done with it, I think will be very happy with it. Be a good student guitar or beginner's guitar or intermediate guitar, you know, in terms of a player's guitar, in terms of that. Of course, anybody will be able to play it, whether you're a professional or not. So, let me take the truss rod cover off, and we'll take a look at the truss rod. We'll inspect the nut. Oh, this one's... Oh no, that one's tight. So I'm going to satin finish all the black plastic and the nuts and screws that hold everything down. So I will take my steel wool to everything tomorrow during the day in the garage in my shop. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. So I see multiple holes drilled. Oops. I see multiple holes. I really need to hook up my other camera. Multiple holes drilled for a truss rod cover, which suggests to me that those holes were stripped out, and instead of gluing in a toothpick and cutting it off and redoing the holes, they just moved the holes over a few millimeters, which is not good. That suggests to me that this is not the original truss rod cover, even though it looks like it is. You know what, on second thought, I think somebody made this truss rod cover. Yeah, this is a homemade truss rod cover. The back of it's... Oh yeah, okay, now I see. The back of it says something. Back of it says something Control LLC British. With a bunch of numbers on it. Okay, so it's just a piece of stock plastic somebody took and then made a truss rod cover. Okay, well, that's alright. Can't have everything. I didn't think it had... I think the original truss rod covers on these had an E on it for Electra. Come to think of it, yeah, so there is that. The nut looks like it's in good condition. I'll dry lube the nut. I'm going to go to put the new strings on it. Ooh, the nut wasn't in there very secure. My goodness. That came flipping out, didn't it? Ooh, okay. Well, now that it's out, I'll take some steel wool to this and just kind of clean it up a little bit. Now that I look at it, the high E string groove is a little rough looking, the groove. So I'll re-groove that one in the shop tomorrow. Okay, something else to do. Something else to do. No problem. Okay, I'll check that truss rod and see how it's doing. Truss rod seems pretty good, so I'm not going to do much adjustment to that. I gave it a little, like a 1/16 of a turn just now. And then I'll pick it up and look at it and run a straight edge across it. Ooh, I got to tighten the machine heads on the tuners. So I will do that right now. Tighten the machine heads on the tuners. That way they'll be nice and tight. Ugh.
I have none to give you. We told you already. We don't know anything about the resistance. I've heard that many times.
More.
From many people.
One more. I always say I like the machine heads on the tuners to be pretty darn tight. Not overly tight, but pretty tight. And that certainly helps with tuning issues. It kind of acts as a locking machine head tuner, if you will, by doing this. Again, you don't want to go so tight you can't turn it. You just want it, you know, moderately tight. I'll put it that way. Okay. Take the, well, I'll wait to do that. I'll take my pictures of the, move that view. I'll take my pictures of the frets and fretboard right now. Okay, that's pretty good. And now we'll proceed to do the frets and fretboard. Alright, so yeah, again, this is a 1985 Electra Les Paul Jr. copy, double cutaway, with 2 humbuckers. The humbuckers are original. The guitar is complete, minus the jack, the switch, and the 4 pots, which I'm going to replace with genuine Gibson electronics tomorrow. Alright, here we go. Hopefully. That takes some elbow grease, my friends. Whew. Okay, fresh rag. And I'm going to wipe it about a dozen times and then I'll show you. Ooh. Dirty. She's a dirty bird. She is indubitably a dirty bird. But the frets are in actually pretty amazing condition. Like I said, this was not a high-end guitar to begin with. New back in 1985, these were under $200. The grain on the graining on the wood on the fretboard is very grainy. By that I mean the grains are really big and spread out. They're not close and compact. So it's got real grain, really, for lack of a better term, grainy grain. I know it sounds weird, but it looks pretty good. There's hardly any fret wear on it. I don't see any fret wear or roughing, so I'm not going to have to do a recrown on this at all. And they are the original frets. I know what Electra original frets look like. And these are very much original frets. It's never been refretted before. That I can tell. Looks like somebody cleaned the fretboard once before, years ago, and they like went with sandpaper or something coarse, because I can see striations this way in it. So whoever cleaned the fretboard last, you know, however many years ago, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, didn't quite know what they were doing. But that's okay. They didn't do a bad job on it per se. It's just that I can tell how they did it. They didn't do any damage to the fretboard or the frets by any stretch. They just went about cleaning it a different way. So, and it just has standard dot inlays. Kind of a plain Jane guitar, nothing to write home about. But Electra made some fancier ones. Like I say, I have a few Electras in my personal collection. I have some guitars the first year they were in business, even Telecasters and whatnot. This will be very much a playable guitar again when I'm done with it. Like I mentioned, I did consider stripping the guitar and refinishing it and repainting it and all that, but then I thought, you know, doing that is not going to make it a $500 or $700 or $1,000 guitar. It was going to be too much work and too much parts and too much supplies to do that. Now, if it were something I was going to keep for my personal collection and never sell it, then I might consider something like that. But other than that, there was going to be no reason to do that. But the frets are in amazing condition. The fretboards are in amazing. Fretboard is in amazing condition. There's no cracks. There's no splits. There's no cracks or splits in the entire neck or the body or the headstock. So that's pretty good. About the only thing that really shows any wear are the pickups and the pickup bezels, and the screws that hold the pickup bezels in are very corroded. But as I mentioned, I'm going to take those in the shop tomorrow and wire wheel all that stuff, and I'm going to put a satin finish on the bezels and the tops of the pickups. So that should be good. Alright, now we're done with the fretboard. Looks pretty darn good considering. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Okay, just back on the charger. This drill has been doing me pretty good. I'm actually using my old drill. I ordered a new drill finally from Amazon, and it was cheaper to buy a new drill with the battery than to buy the battery separately. It was only like $7 more to buy it with the drill. So I was like, okay, I'll just buy the whole thing, save the new drill, and use the new battery in the old drill. So that worked out pretty well. Oh, yeah, look at that fretboard. I haven't taken my picture yet, so I will proceed to do that. Looks pretty darn good. Wow, big difference before and after. Whew, major difference. So I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. Oh yeah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'll go ahead and I will take the pickups off and the pickup bezels. And I'll have all these parts to satin finish on the morrow in the shop. Probably gonna close this video out probably in about 30 minutes. I'll make this a pretty short video. Because I'm not gonna try and finish this guitar in one night, and I just wouldn't be able to do it. Well, I'd be able to do it, but I'd have to work until like 4 in the morning. It's not something I have to get back out for sale like immediately or anything, so I'll get it back out for sale probably by Saturday. Oh, we got a screw missing here. That sucks. Dang. Okay, well, that's not good. That's not good. Got one missing. I'm gonna have to find another one. This will give me a chance to check the pickup cavities and the pickups themselves. The one with the gray wire is the back pickup. The one with the yellow wire is the front pickup. So, whew, that was a mistake. I was trying to blow the dust and stuff out of that, and I ended up blowing it right in my face. And I just took a shower, so that was a mistake. I know better than to do that, but I didn't see. Usually I do it like that. But tomorrow I'll probably take this out, and I'll take my air compressor to it, and you know, I'll you know, do it that way, do it the right way. Oy vey. Okay. Okay, next. Again, this has its share of nicks and paint chip. There's a huge paint chip missing right here. I'm not trying to get this guitar perfect by any stretch, so I will just put a regular polish on it and leave it at that. And, you know, like I said, I'm not going to make a killing off of this guitar financially. When it's all said and done, I might make 20-30 bucks on it after my parts, my supplies, my labor, and all that. So, excuse me. But it'll look nice when I'm done with it, that's for sure. It won't look like a dog when I'm done with it. And this is going to be meant to be a player's guitar. And when I say that, I mean a guitar that you'll take out of your case or your gig bag and you'll play it. You know, it's not going to be a shelf queen. It's not going to be a case queen. It's going to be a player's guitar that somebody can buy cheap. A beginner or intermediate player will enjoy this. Possibly a person that collects Electras. But in all honesty, there's not very many people that exclusively collect Electras. There just isn't. I have my share of them. I've got probably about 15 or 18 different Electras from the 80s. So, yeah. So with that being said, there's a little bit of sticker here I gotta remove with my thumb, an old sticker sometimes. Now most of the time I remove old stickers from guitars unless they're like really vintage stickers, like a KLOS sticker from the 70s or 80s, or K-Rock, or something from an old popular radio station, for example. Then I'll leave that on just for nostalgia's sake. Generally speaking, I take stickers off. Yeah. So other than that, I paid my friend $40 for this guitar. He brought it to me. I've purchased guitar projects and vintage parts from him from before we met via Craigslist, and you know, he wanted to see what I have in terms of some guitars, and so he came to me where I live, and yeah. So I got a pretty good thing going here on this. I think the finish is going to come out pretty decent. I'm probably might gonna have to go over it 2 or 3 times because there's schmutz on it and sticker remnants and things of that nature on it. So, and again, I'm not trying to get this finish perfect because it's not perfect to begin with. So, and I'm fine with that. My only alternative would be to strip this guitar, take it apart, completely apart, strip it, and refinish it, repaint it. But I'm not going to do that. There's just no value in doing that. Plus, some people like the, you know, they like the 1980s dings on it, and the patina. A lot of people like that. They don't want you to mess with that. Some people don't even like what I'm doing to it now by polishing it. But I do that just for, aesthetics sake. And I am going to have to go over this a second time here. I can see where somebody was trying to take out some scratches and dings, and they took some fine sandpaper and went over them, and then didn't do anything else. So that's kind of funny. So, yeah, I'll get this guitar looking ship-shape pretty soon here. I'll take some during pictures here in a minute when I'm done with my second coat of polishing. See the end cap for the neck. I'm sorry, excuse me, I keep burping.
I tried so hard to change her mind, and finally she changed mine. She convinced me to go with her. I said I would meet her. She
Excuse me, my stomach keeps gurgling. I had a pretty big dinner. I barbecued some chicken tonight and made some homemade potato salad and homemade brownies from scratch and all that stuff for dinner. I'll toot my own horn, but I'm a pretty good cook. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. Alright, second time is always best. Look at my results, they're pretty darn good. I got parts falling off of my thing. I had to move a bunch of parts because I had to get behind my desk here because I got my 1972 Fender Music Man bass back there, and I got a new custom shop bass case from a friend of mine, my friend Kevin, and I bought a brand new off of him Fender limited edition custom shop bass case. Like almost a $300 case new. I bought it from him for like 80 bucks. So I took pictures of my 72 bass in that case today. So I'm deciding whether I'm going to keep that bass case or resell it or use it to store that bass in it. Although the bass, my bass, has its original hard shell case, so I don't know if I want to unpair the two since it is original. I've got other basses I can put in it, that's for sure. Maybe one of these custom stock BC Rich basses, or I do have other other Fender American basses, and even a couple of Fender American custom shop basses I could put in that case, because it's a long scale bass case, so you can put a very long scale bass in it with room to spare. I even put a couple of guitars in there today, and it had like 8 inches of extra space. just to show how much space one of these cases have. You can technically put a guitar in a bass case like that, but you've got room to spare, and then when you move the case, the guitar is going to be swimming back and forth in the case. So you'd have to shore it up with a couple of terry cloth rags or something stuffed on either end, so it doesn't make the guitar swim around in the case, you know. But it's a cool case, and he only paid him like 60 bucks, 80 bucks. I think 80 bucks for it. So I could turn around and sell that thing for $220 and make a killer profit. And if I did do that, I'd share the joy with my friend and take him out to lunch or something. Because I hate to buy something from a friend and then turn around and like triple my profit and be like, oh man. And he's like, hey man, I could have done that. So I'll share the wealth with him a little bit. Buy him lunch or dinner or something. Ooh, okay. Might have to polish this a third time. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Just around the bridge and tailpiece area here. Can't really polish too much on a black guitar. I mean, you can in turn put micro scratches back into it from polishing it too much. But one is hard pressed to do that, especially when you're hand polishing a guitar. If I was using a wheel or something, maybe. Well, that's better. Not perfect, but better. I need to redo one little spot there.
I've been studying their orbital sensor net. It surrounds the entire planet. This is the most sophisticated system I've ever seen. It monitors everything we do. There's no way of disabling it from orbit. So much for a surprise attack. We may still be able to surprise them even if they do see us coming.
Yeah, all in all, we're doing pretty good here in the polish shop. It looks pretty darn good. I mean, again, it's still got many scratches and dings and dents in it. But now I can see my reflection in it, to where before it was like looking in a piece of paper. You can't see your reflection in a piece of paper. I'm going to take a during picture here, if you will. Take one without flash. Okay. Alright, let's see what we got. What it looks like before. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, we definitely good. We'll take a little sideways picture here. Yeah, pretty good. Somebody will be very happy with this guitar. I'm probably going to end this video, excuse me, probably in about another 15 minutes. And, It's a real rose. That's a real rosewood fretboard. So, yeah. Okay. Here we go on the back polish. Or maybe I'll go over a few minutes on the video. I don't know yet. It's just gonna take me more than a few more minutes to polish this, I think. The imperfections I can just get off with my fingernail. I get a little wet with polish, and like it's just, you know, schmutz or leftover sticker remnants or whatever. A lot of it I can get off just by running my fingernail across it, because it's just on the surface, you know, it's just a surface blemish. It's not gone past the top surface of the paint. Boy, when they painted these things, they painted them. I mean, the paint on these are thick. It's actually got very little belt buckle rash, so that's a good sign. I mean, this is definitely a played guitar, but it's not an abused guitar. I'll put it that way. And that's what I'll put in my description when I go to resell it. It's played, but it's not abused. That's the description. Played but not abused. And I'll even polish the edge of the cavity, electronics cavity here, to get some of the original factory polish off of it. Because we got that transparent clear cover that's going to show all the electronics in it and everything when I'm done with it. So I want to be able to have a nice clean cavity. You know, nice clean cavity.
Give you some good news, Mr. Kim. There's a disruption initiated around the prison. That qualifies. Good work. I wish I could take credit for it, but it's coming from inside the prison. We have to get through.
Okay.
Sounds like they have other things to worry about right now.
Another blemish I can take off with my fingernail.
Someone in there might be trying to get out. That's a big assumption.
Some people have asked me, why do I use my fingernail to do this and not a razor blade or a screwdriver or something hard and metal? Well, then you're going to put gouges and scratches in what you're trying to get off. You want to get off just what's on the surface, not take your blemish off and then put a new blemish on it to replace the one you just took off. So, oddly enough, your own human fingernail works pretty good as a cleaner, oddly enough. Who'da thunk, you know? Some people will also make fun of me and say, why are you polishing the cavity? I mean, you really can't polish the deep inside of it because it's rough. Because when they polish these the factory on the big wheel can't get inside the cavity. So at best, all I can do is clean it up, and that's all I can do to it. Yeah, pretty good shape so far. So we go ahead and do coat number 2 on this. Pretty good, pretty good. Pretty happy with it so far. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Electra, made in Japan, so it's, you know, it's made in Japan. It's not made in China or some BS like that. So it's got its share of nicks and scratches. I mean, I wish the body were perfect. I wish this were a factory showpiece, but it isn't. So I have to deal with what it is, not what it should be. You know. But I'm going to be pretty happy with it when I'm done. Pretty happy. Now, I'll go ahead and stand up and take a look at any other secondary spots I need to go over again. Yeah, looks like maybe right here. Black is a very unforgiving color. You guys know I've said that before many times. Black is a very unforgiving color. So now I'm going to put some elbow grease in it. Okay, stand up and look at it again. Oh, yeah, that's better. And I could go over it a fourth time and a fifth time and a sixth time, and every time it'll get a little better and a little better and a little better. I could sit here for a week and polish on it, but I'm not going to do that because it's just, you know, it's not a show. Like I said, it's not a showpiece to begin with, so I'm not trying to make it into one. I'm just not. And I'll do the sides, and then the back of the neck, and then the top of the headstock, and we'll be done polishing this bad boy. This bad boy. Okay. Yeah. Paint jobs they did on these were pretty darn good. I mean, there's sections here where it's absolutely pristine, perfect, like right here. I mean, there's a scratch here, but if I look in between that and look at the finish right there is absolutely perfect. I wish the rest of the guitar were like that, but it isn't. Don't drop it though, for corn's sake. Mercy. Don't drop it. Mercy. Okay. Do the other side here, and then we'll do the cutouts. And then we'll be done. I gotta come up with some sort of jack for this because man, I might have to order one. If I have to, yeah, I have to look at my stock. I think I probably have one, but I'm gonna have to look. If not, I'm gonna have to order one, and if I have to order one, then this will be a week project. Because I'll have to order it from Guitar Center. And then it will take a week to get it. And then blah blah blah. Yeah, that came out nice. That came out pretty nice. Now we'll do next. Black Monday and Cyber deals are happening now. Well, then why even have a Black Friday anymore? If you're just going to have it now, what's the point? Some of these holiday commercials are just... I mean, day after Halloween, I was already seeing Christmas commercials on TV. And I was just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. How about something for Thanksgiving? I mean, they're skipping a holiday. I know it's kind of passé to celebrate Thanksgiving anymore. It's politically incorrect to celebrate Thanksgiving, but I celebrate Thanksgiving. I just spent 4 hours today putting up Thanksgiving and fall decorations, if that says anything. Because I love, you guys know me and holiday decorations, Christmas decorations, Halloween decorations mostly, but I'm a decorating fool when it comes to holidays. Heck, I'd decorate for Groundhog's Day if I could, if there was a such thing as a Groundhog's Day decorations section in the store. I'd decorate for it. I love decorating for holidays. It's just fun. It's just good old-fashioned fun. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. Headstock. I'll do the tuners.
What's your guess? Assuming we can find some titanium alloy? 3 or 4 months. And with this kind of damage, the best I can get is what, 2? Maybe 2.1. In other words, we're a decade away from Jupiter Station. What about the transceiver array? The subspace antenna's damaged. All we've got is short range. We've answered enough calls for help over the past year. It's time someone returned the favor.
Yeah, I'll say. Somebody return their favor for me. Buy some dang guitars. I've been helping so many other people out by buying their equipment and amps and guitars. Now somebody needs to return the favor. Sales have kind of slumped for me because of my issue with Craigslist and how they kind of screwed me over a couple of months ago. I won't get into that, but suffice to say, they were messing with my postings, and it was messing with me. And they're still kind of messing with my postings, but yeah. Anyway. Okay. Let's go ahead and give our first wipe. Ooh, nice. Well, really only one bad spot on the back of the neck here. I'll show it to you. It's right. The camera's probably not going to pick it up, but it's right there. It's a little tiny ding, and it just barely went past the surface of the paint. The rest of the back of the neck is absolutely perfect. So, yeah, not too bad in that aspect. Not too bad on that aspect. Yeah. Back of the neck is not too great. I mean, it's got those holes from the original tuners, and whoever filled them in, they did a good job. But you can still see the pattern of the old pickups, and there's some pretty decent dings at the top back here. But all in all, pretty decent. Can't complain too much. I can complain a little bit, but I can't complain too much. I'll just put an extra good polish job on the top of the stock, and call it at that.
This is Captain Archer of the Starship Enterprise. Thank you for responding. How may we be of assistance? We need help in repairing some hull damage.
I'm going over the length of video I wanted to go today, but that's alright. Sometimes with the best of planning on a video on YouTube, you still will have a little go over time or whatever. Again, not that it's a huge deal. I mean, just is what it is. Is what it is, and that's what it is. What it is. All in all, it's coming out pretty nice. It's coming out pretty clean. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't have any major complaints. With it polish-wise, I really don't. I'm gonna get a fresh soda, and I'll be right back.
We'd be grateful for any assistance you could offer. Please respond.
Nothing.
Bioscience?
None that I can detect. Maybe it's abandoned.
We might be able to board it. Salvage some of the materials we need. Doesn't seem that Enterprise can fit inside those docking berths. What's it look like inside?
I'm detecting a liquid helium atmosphere. The temperature's 270 degrees below zero.
Oops.
Biomolecular probe.
Okay. Alright, I'm back. For you guys asking in the last video about my green screen, I told you I was going to have a green screen backdrop here, and change my camera location so that way you can see me and the guitar I'm working on. Not that I'm anything special to look at, but people want to see me and working on the guitar. But I bought a green screen, and then I made a frame for it out of PVC. So it's going to be a 10 by 10 foot backdrop green screen that I can put, you know, if you know anything about a green screen, you can put whatever you want on the back of it. You know, I could put a holiday theme behind it, or whatever, or information, or a scene, or whatever, with my using my Telestream Wirecast software. And they are one of my show sponsors. Check them out for the ultimate in streaming software. They are called Telestream Wirecast, and they are most great. They've been my sponsors since version 1. Pretty cool product. It's expensive. It's production quality, but it's very good. So check them out. Telestream Wirecast. They're a long time sponsor of mine. Great people. They have other products besides Wirecast, but that's kind of one of their mainstays is Wirecast. And all it is a piece of software that utilizes your microphone, your camera, or cameras, and you can create different shots and add backdrops and green screen and effects, and you can bring in other audio sources, etc. So they're pretty cool. They're a favorite of mine. Check them out. Again, they're called Telestream Wirecast. And you can see them at www.wirecast.com. Really cool people. Really awesome. And I'm not saying that just for the sake of saying that. I really do believe that. They give me their software every year. I have the Pro version, which is, when it's all said and done, is about $1,000 to buy. But they have basic versions you can buy for cheaper. So that's pretty cool. Okay, that's about as good as the headstock is going to get, unfortunately, because there's some pretty big nicks and scratches on it. But it's not too bad, considering. Okay, I'm all done on my polish job on the guitar, so now I'll do some of the hardware and get that done. Went up a couple of degrees in here. I'm getting warm, even though it's only 73.5 degrees in here. Right now I'm warm. Just for the only reason because I'm working. So, yeah, tomorrow in the shop I'll take this guitar out in the shop and I will blow this all out, all the dust out of it, and the electronics cavity. Yeah. Get my big screwdriver out so I can screw this in correctly. Too many people use the wrong size bladed screwdriver on this. You know, they'll use a screwdriver like this to tighten it, and then they'll wonder why they strip out their screwdriver and make big, huge marks in the slot of the head of the screw. And I go, gee, why did that happen? Well, because you're not using the right tool for the right job. You have to use the right tool for the right job. Just that simple. I pride myself on using the right tool for the job. You don't use a screwdriver as a hammer, or a hammer as a screwdriver. You know. I got one of those. I recommend those. What was it called? Robo Twist. Yeah, I got one of those. They do what they say. They do what they say. Robo Twist opens up lids on jars. It works. It works. Ooh. Damn. Screw that in the neck. What happened there? Okay, well, let's start. Yeah, that's good. For a second there, I thought it stripped, but it didn't. Oh, my back is starting to hurt, though. Okay. Next. Robotwist.com. Buy robotwist.com. It works, I tell you. It works. Every once in a while you get one of those jar lids that you just can't take off, no matter how hard you twist. And it works. Who'da thunk? Who'da thunk? Okay, next. So the weather here has been still warm. I mean, it was like 85 degrees here today. And it's supposed to be fall, and it's already November 5th. So it's like, where's the fall weather? I've had enough of summer weather. Bring on the cool and cold weather. Bring it on. I'm ready. Okay, next. Do the bridge. My back is starting to hurt though. Anybody in chat? Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Pedicure. Boy, all these inventions on TV. Some of them are actually pretty darn good, while others are just kind of passable. There's some pretty good ones I recommend, like the red copper pots and pans. Those I highly recommend. I mean, I got every single one of those they make, and they are just awesome pots and pans. The red copper ones, they're awesome sauce, I'll tell you. And they really don't stick. I mean, I've tried to get things to stick to them, like sausage and pasta and egg, and just nothing will stick to them. You have to use them right too. You can't just, you're supposed to use them on medium to medium high heat. You're not supposed to use, high heat on them. But they work pretty darn good. I like them.
Similar to a protein sequencer, far more advanced to water. Cool.
I like him. Red copper. I've got all the pans, I've got all the pots, I've got the griller stations, I've got the deep fry baskets. I've got all of them. I've got every single one they make, even the sandwich. Little sandwich flipper maker thing. I bought one of those recently, and you make grilled cheese sandwiches to die for with them. They really work well. I love them. In fact, I just used it yesterday to make grilled cheese sandwiches. You make perfect restaurant quality grilled cheese sandwiches and whatnot. Okay, so that's all polished and ready. Now we will do the bridge, which says LS bridge, which just means Les Paul. LS, even though it's not LP, it's just LS, LS. Made in Japan. It's in pretty good shape. You know what? It's got different springs in it. Someone's replaced some of the springs in this. So that's interesting. Am I going to be able to intonate this thing? Yeah, I'll be able to intonate it. One of the springs here is... That's because the adjustment is all the way to the hilt. So, but I'll be able to make an adjustment on this. We've been going an hour and 23 minutes. I've gone over a little bit what I wanted to do, but that's alright. It's all good. Sometimes things run longer than expected. Has some different screws in it too. It's got 3 flathead slotted screws, and it's got 3 Phillips screws in it. That's strange. Somebody's tried to rework this bridge, and it looks like it'll work. I mean, as long as I can intonate it and adjust it, that's all I care about. That's all I care about.
They even fixed the squeak in the floor. I'm starting to wonder if we had a gremlin under the deck plate. A mythical creature. British pilots used to blame them for problems they couldn't explain.
Perhaps I should scan for one.
That won't be necessary.
Scan for gremlin. You guys know I always watch the Star Trek block on TV. I never miss it, even though I've seen every one of these episodes like 150 times, probably more. You always see something in an episode that you missed, and you go, I didn't see that. I didn't see that object before. I missed this phrase before. You always miss something. Okay. Bridge is nicely polished and done and ready.
Don't you find it a little suspicious? I know you don't. I'm on feeling, but I've learned to trust my.
Oh, mercy, come on. It's not going down, so I'm going to have to readjust. Readjust. There we go. So one time I recommend using a hammer on a guitar. Other than that, do not hammer your guitars. That's good enough. I'm not trying to get it all adjusted right this second. So we got the bridge done, the tailpiece done. Got all that done. Okay. We're doing pretty good. We're making good time. Not that I'm rushing, but gonna be all ready for the electronics tomorrow. I might pre-select the electronics tomorrow before live stream, just to save time, because I don't want to sit here and just have you guys watch me looking for a jack and pots and a switch for 2 hours. So I might just go ahead and pre-select that stuff during the day tomorrow in my parts supply, just for saving times aspect. Yeah.
Do you suffer from muscle aches, shoulder and neck stiffness, or lower back pain? Wish you could have soothing therapeutic massages right now at home? What you need is Comfy Pro, the revolutionary cordless massager that mimics the sensation.
I have one of those. I've got like a half a dozen massagers like that. They work pretty good. They do what they say, for the most part. I might put a dab of glue on this crack here. I don't know yet. Sometimes you put glue on something clear and it clouds it all up. As long as the crack isn't coming apart, I guess I don't care. But we'll see. Okay, that is it. I am done polishing everything. Everything is polished and ready to go. The guitar is ready for electronics tomorrow. Boy, the frets and fretboard look phenomenal. So I'm happy about that. Whoops. I almost spilled. And I suppose I can polish one more time, just this kind of area, just for the sake of saying I did it. So with, like I said, with black, you can't polish too much on black, really. You just really kind of can't polish too much on black. So I'll just kind of sit here and do that. Then I have two new booklets that I got in the mail that I could share with you guys for Guitar Center. Kind of like pre-Christmas, what they're going to have for Christmas and the holidays. I can share with you guys that. Okay. Yeah, it's even better than it was. Like I said, I could sit here for a week and polish on it, and every time it'll get a little bit better. But, you know, like I said, it's not something I have to do. Just get it nice, get it good, and leave it at that. Leave it at that. There's one little spot here I want to try and get better. Did I get it better? I did get it better. Like I said, you could sit here and polish on it. Polish and polish and polish. Oh. But the more I polish, the more my back hurts. So I'm going to call this guitar done until tomorrow, because I can't go any further, really. Looks pretty darn good. It looks better than it did an hour and 32 minutes ago. So I'm pretty happy about that aspect. Where's my book? I said I was going to look at it. Oh, here it is. This one I got today in the mail from Guitar Center. The holiday season, give the gift of music. Aww. Oop. There we go. Yeah, it's Guitar Center. I get all their flyers. I am a staunch supporter of Guitar Center, especially considering I used to work at Guitar Center back in the 1990s. So let's see what they have. See what we got here up in here. Okay. Ooh. Limited edition Fender Squier Red Sparkle Bullet Telecaster for $150. I might have to pick me up one of those, because you guys know how I feel about sparkle and metal flake guitars. I go gaga over them. I go gaga over them. Gaga. I go gaga over them. $150. That's a pretty good deal. Ibanez Jumpstart Bass Pack. $280. You get the bass. Ibanez Geo Bass. A soft shell gig bag, an amp, a stand, a strap, cords, and something else. It looks like a tuner, maybe. And I can't tell what else it comes with. It doesn't say what it comes with, but the picture's so small you can hardly tell. Strap. I see a strap. And I think a tuner. There's a little box something here. I don't know what the box is. It's not the amp, because the amp's over there. I don't know what that is. I do know, but I like this Fender Squier in red sparkle. That is pretty cool. Even though it's kind of cheapy. It's pretty cool. I like it. What else? What else you got, Guitar Center? Paul Reed Smith Custom 24 Limited Edition for $700. Fender Special Edition Deluxe Ash Telecaster, $600. Epiphone Limited Edition Les Paul Standard Quilted Top Pro, $500. I've got like 4 of those. Those are pretty cool. They're all for sale too. Nice. And I have another catalog here that's called The Big Dream. It's like half an inch thick. Keyboards. I like my keyboards. Very good. Drums. I know how to play drums pretty good. But I haven't done anything drum related in about 3-4 years. I mean, in terms of sales and restoring and working on drums. T-shirts and hats, wall hangers, strings, miniature replica guitars of Eddie Van Halen's guitar, and Stevie Ray Vaughan's guitar, and one other I don't recognize. Yeah.
Are you downloading something?
No.
Really?
No.
I'm trying to get something to play on YouTube and it won't even start at all.
Oh. Did you check the setting? Make sure it's not on HD?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you know, you click that little gray
Yeah, I
gear.
lowered it from 260 to 240 and it still works.
Try 140. Go the lowest.
Mm.
Yeah. Gibson, limited edition, $2,200.
If you currently have life insurance, you could be overpaying for your policy. Call now to find out how you can save up to 100% of your money.
Alright, I'll be right back in.
Senior Life Insurance Company. If you own a typical life insurance policy, you see no cash unless you die. With return of premium life insurance, you receive back 100% of all premiums at the end of the term period. That's right, you get back all the money you paid. That's 100% return of your money. Return of premium life insurance offers protection if you need it, and 100% cash back if you don't. Other companies talk about saving you money, but with return of premium life insurance from Senior Life, you receive all your money back. To get a free rate quote, call 1-888-814-8241 now. You have no obligation. Return of premium life insurance from Senior Life Insurance Company. Call the number on your screen now.
Nothing ruins your natural night vision faster than glaring light, and that can be deadly in a dangerous situation. Nick Bolton here with a solution. We call them night vision tack glasses. Inspired by the glasses worn by elite military units, night vision tack glasses block blinding glare so well, invisible objects suddenly become visible. So you can see clearly when it matters the most. Look, high-intensity glare ruins your night vision by causing your pupils to overcompensate. But night vision tack glasses have an anti-reflective coating and a special tint that help protect your natural night vision. Soldiers have to use lenses like these because missing even a small detail can be deadly in a tactical situation. But you don't have to be in a war zone to face a life-threatening moment. Night vision tack glasses improve optical clarity to reveal important hidden details. And they're not just for driving. You can use them anytime visibility is poor to shield your eyes and sharpen your vision. Plus, like all of our products, these are what I call military tough. They can even survive the harshest conditions. And the polymer frames can flex and
With
bend
the system,
without
you
breaking.
know.
So get yourself a pair of
Give it a little bit, and we'll come back.
nothing like them on the market today.
Now to get your night vision tack glasses for just
Okay, well, they're just having internet issues or something. I don't know. Okay, let's check out the big catalog.
precision and quality of genuine Bell & Howell lenses.
The big dream. Look at this baby.
Double yours. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 night vision tack
And
glasses.
it's thick. Look how thick it is.
Special low price.
Holy mackerel. And on the front page is a fender. Green sparkle. American strap. Might even be a custom shot. It is bad to the bone. 2018 holiday catalog. I'm gonna take good care of this. It's a collector's item to me. Ooh. Wow, look at this Fender Custom Shop Imperial Arc 72 Telecaster Custom Master Built by Paul Waller. $7,280. Holy mackerel, Andy. Gibson Custom Limited Edition 1959 Les Paul Standard with Brazilian Rosewood fingerboard. $10,649. Whoa. Wow, this is a dream catalog. Dream big catalog. Holy mackerel. Ernie Ball Music Man. $3,500. Duesenberg, Paul Reed Smith, Chapman, Gretsch, Gibson. Whoa. Fender Custom Shop 1960s Heavy Relic Stratocaster. $4,250. This is a dream catalog, alright. Ooh, look at this. 1959 Gibson EMS 1235 double neck guitar and mandolin. Wow. That is stellar. 1959 Gibson Flying V. Whoa. That is, oh, here's a guy playing that. Electric guitar and electric mandolin. Wow. Wow. Holy mackerel. Look at this. Boy, this is a dream catalog. The ESP NAMM Exhibition Limited Mystique Custom. $17,000. Whoa. That is gnarly. Wow. Gnarly. Nashville, from Nashville with love. Gibson Custom Shop. Ibanez RG Connect Collection. Wow. Grunge Beyond. Oh, this is a dream catalog. Schecters. Ooh, beautiful. You can see a little bit in the camera here. Some of these guitars. Pedals. Pedals galore. Pedals galore.
This is an ideal time.
I wanted to say goodbye.
Ooh, amplifiers. Amplifiers.
It's different when it's someone
Marshall, Ampeg, Orange, EVH. Fender, Acoustic, Vox, Blackstar, PV. Taylor for $4,000. Acoustic. Acoustic electric? Yeah, acoustic electric.
I was hoping it was another one of his practical jokes.
Gibson Hummingbird, acoustic electric, $3,850.
Some kind of joke around the board. Said it might be sentient. And that the captain needed me to figure out.
Oh, Yamaha. Guild. Breed Love. Straps, tuners, capos, strings. Warning, products sold here can expose you to chemicals. Okay. Strange little flyer thing in here. Warning, products sold here can expose you to chemicals which are known to the state of California to cause cancer. Okay. Electric and acoustic guitars, ukuleles, banjos, mandolins, and miscellaneous string instruments can expose you to chemicals. Blah, 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 blah. Alrighty then. Well, I suppose that's technically true. Interesting. Interesting. Dream Bold. As Love. Jimi Hendrix. Got little stories and articles on guitarists in between the showing of their guitars. Ooh, Paul Reed Smith Private Stock Hollow Body Limited Edition, $11,200. Holy mackerel!
last week.
Tipping the scales. There's some microphones. Studio condenser microphones. Ooh. Blue Yetis, sure. Digital recorders. Digital portable recorders, rather. And speakers, amps, control boards, mini keyboards. It's a pretty good catalog. We got a lot of stuff up in here. Nord, Yamaha, Casio, Novation, PV, speakers, mixing boards, more speakers and wireless, microphones and wireless. Dave Rat, making live sound great. Whoa, it's holding up a huge speaker. Man, the speaker's about 30 inches or so. It's huge. Doesn't say what size it is, but it's pretty darn big. Pioneer DJ equipment. Rain. Headphones. Lighting and trusses. Drums. Sparkle drums. Drums, lots of drums. Lots of drums, more drums. Yamaha, Mapex, W, Ludwig, Yamaha, Gretsch, etc. Lots of drums, drumming equipment, drumsticks, drums, cymbals, electronic drums. Ooh, almost at the end of the catalog already. More electronic drums. Custom drums like djembes and whatnot. Hand drums, congas, bongos. And more congas. And that's it on the end of the catalog. Pretty cool. Dream big. Here, I'll put it this way so you can see it a little bit. Dream big. There you go. There we go. Dream big, folks. Dream big. Alright, I'm going to prepare to close this video because I'm getting pretty tired. And starting to not feel too well, so I will start putting away my things. I think my battery's getting low too anyway, so I'll go ahead and close this video out, and I will continue tomorrow. I will have pre-chosen the pots and the switch and the jack, and we'll have done the satin finishing on everything, the pickups, the truss rod cover, etc. I hope about the only thing that might set me back is a jack. I'm pretty sure I have a jack for this. If not, I will have to order one, and that will make this a multi-day project. So I'll have to order it and then wait for it to ship. But that's okay if that happens. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with the way it's coming out so far, so I can't complain too much. playing just a little, and that's it.
Please place your compensation on the transport.
Alright everyone, thank you for joining me on this classic guitar video on this 1985 Electra Les Paul Jr. copy, and we'll hopefully continue with this tomorrow. Thanks again.